All right, guys, we are back at it, and we're going to get right into it, guys. So Piers Morgan comes to his senses finally with an interview with Mehdi Hassan and an Israeli official, guys, and, you know, he agrees that what's happening in Gaza is indeed a genocide, right? And what's interesting is they've been pushing this, like, fake, mythical white South African genocide going on, but they fail, and Trump said this himself verbatim. He said it's a white genocide happening in Gaza. Doesn't want to call the Gaza situation a genocide. Anyone who has that type of mentality, guys, you do not want to engage with them in any type of conversation about this topic. It's just out of sheer racism and hatred. That's just what it is, right? So if they're Muslim or they're from a certain part of the world, it's not a genocide. They deserved it. They did something, you know, to piss somebody off that's of a higher status and they're subhuman. And that's the way they look at you, right? So you can't really have a logical conversation with these people. It's just sick animalistic behavior. But then all of a sudden, you know, they frame it as like, oh, South Africa, oh my God, there's a genocide happening in South Africa. We need 49 people who had to seek asylum here in the United States. It's just sick, man. Like, it really makes you sick. So luckily, Piers Morgan, which I knew, look, everyone gave Piers Morgan a hard time, but I'm going to be honest with you guys. He put on certain people that would never get a platform for their views onto his show to talk with each other, to clash with each other. He was the only one doing that. Fuck what he had to say about, you know, initially when he first started, he kept, denying certain things and he was defending Israel. That's cool, whatever. But he's the only person that gave both sides a chance. Okay, and I think deep down inside he knew what was going on, but again, he does work for certain people, and there's certain requirements he needs to meet in order not to get his shit taken down. Like, you know, we're seeing creators get their Twitch accounts taken down now. Hassanabi just got his Twitch account fucking banned, and DEI like went in, busted into his house and did a raid and shit, and they wouldn't let him enter the country, something like that. So, Mehdi Hassan. Let's get into this video by Mehdi Hassan, man, because he really breaks this down very well here. Let's see. Let's get it. So Mehdi Hassan's had, you know, he's fed up, just like everybody is.
The G word, genocide. Most media outlets in the West, even now, even as Israel continues to proudly flatten Gaza and starve the Palestinians of Gaza, refuse to use the term genocide. Joe Biden last year went out of his way to say what's happening in Gaza is not genocide. Keir Starmer refuses to say it is. And pro-Israel groups often accuse anyone who says Gaza is a genocide of perpetrating an anti-Semitic blood libel.
And this is the kicker, guys. Anytime you criticize the ethno-genocidal state of Israel in any form or matter, all of a sudden you're anti-Semitic, right? When in reality, like, the Jewish culture and the Jewish religion has nothing to do with what's going on in Israel. They don't even, like, it's totally against what's going on in Israel. Anyone with any type of morality, you know, this is why it's such a global issue and everybody's, you know, standing against them. Anyone with any type of shred of morality, right, knows that this has nothing to do with the beautiful Jewish people who practice the religion and you know, are true to their faith. Okay, this is a separate criminal ethno-state entity that is committing a genocide on a population of individuals who, you know, they're using obviously collective punishment, starvation, et cetera, the most vicious form of starvation and just, you know, so this whole anti-Semitic label, they're weaponizing it.
And yet, here's the thing they don't want you to know. Genocide experts are almost all in agreement that what's happening is a genocide, per the legal definition under the Genocide Convention, acts committed with the intent to destroy in whole or in part a national, ethnic, racial, or religious group. So here are the names, the expert names you need to know, including Jewish and Israeli experts, on the subject of genocide to avoid being gaslit by apologists for Israel. First, there are the academic experts who say Gaza is a genocide. Martin Shaw, who literally wrote the book, What is Genocide? Melanie O'Brien, who is the literal president of the International Association of Genocide Scholars. Dirk Moses, who is the senior editor of the Journal of Genocide Research. Eva Vukušić, who helped prosecute the Srebrenica genocide. William Shabas, who even defended Myanmar against charges of genocide, against the Rohingya, but says what Israel is doing in Gaza now is a genocide. There are also the Israeli genocide experts, the Israeli historians of the Holocaust, who say Gaza is a genocide. Professors Omer Bartov, Amos Goldberg, Daniel
all
Blackman,
Jews, by the way.
Raz Siegel, Lee Mordecai,
All Jews.
Dr. Shmuel Lederman, who was originally opposed to calling Gaza a genocide, but now says, quote, what Israel is doing in Gaza is genocidal in every sense. Then there are the human rights groups who say Gaza is a genocide. Amnesty International, Human Rights Watch, the legal clinics at top US universities who say it's a genocide, at Boston University School of Law, at Cornell Law School, at Yale Law School. The United Nations organizations and experts who say it's a genocide. The UN Independent International Commission of Inquiry. The UN Special Committee to investigate Israeli practices. Multiple UN special rapporteurs. In fact, speaking the other week to the Dutch newspaper NRC, the Israeli expert Raz Siegel said, can I name someone whose work I respect who doesn't consider it genocide? His answer, no. The Israeli expert Shmuel Lederman says it's now the consensus view among genocide researchers. So apologists for Israel and lazy and cowardly both sides media outlets might want to reject the charge of genocide in Gaza. They might want to pretend it's hyperbole or even anti-Semitic. But the experts, the actual experts on genocide, they know a genocide when they see one. And they see one in Gaza.
Yeah, man. I mean, the most scholarly individuals in the field of genocide are saying it's a genocide. You have Jews, Israelis, you have everybody in the damn world is in agreement. Like, this is ethnic cleansing, genocide. All but Netanyahu, Bezalel Smotrich, and those clowns, those sick, maniacal, disgusting scum of the earth, right? One of them, Bezalel Smotrich, said, we have to allow a minimal amount of aid into Gaza just so we make sure they don't all starve to death, so we won't get away with what we're doing. So he admitted it, like, in Hebrew on TV, and so everybody's seen this, and it's like, okay, cool. Bunch of, little brown kids in Gaza, Muslims, who gives a shit, right? Oh, but no, there's the white genocide going on in South Africa, boys. Oh, man. There's a white genocide going on in South Africa. We had to, all but 49 people came to seek asylum. Even though that the whites in South Africa are part of the government, they're not denied any of their rights. There's a caste system in South Africa. But oh no, there's a white genocide happening in South Africa. We had to get 49 people to seek asylum. Here in the United States, the farmers are getting slaughtered, even though the whites are a large part of the government in South Africa. There's a fucking caste system in South Africa. The whiter you are, the more rights you have in the fucking country. What the hell are these people talking about, man? And Trump will sit there, and the guy, and this is the funny part. Oh, you guys got to watch this shit, bro. Trump sits there with the South African president. And by the way, Trump doesn't. I don't even think Trump reads. To be honest with you guys, the guy is never prepared. Doesn't do his homework. And I mean, this is kind of what you're gonna get when you elect a fucking idiot. So he's over here raising, like, the photos, obviously. Remember when he was, with the South African president? He's like, look at this family got slaughtered. This family got slaughtered. Look at these people. Look, there's a genocide going on against the farmers. Not the people, the farmers. So this idiot gets caught with a photo, right, of a evil situation that happened in the Congo. Okay, and there's, like, a bunch of Congolese people surrounding, like, dead bodies wrapped in, in white sheets. And this moron showed He said that this is a picture of South African farmers being buried. The photo was actually taken after an M23 rebel attack in Goma, Congo, and this is one of the few pictures that people caught, were able to see, and this is one of the few pictures, that people saw. So who knows, like, what else he had in there? It might have been just he might have had Gazans in there, like, and he would have, thank God he didn't show us any other pictures. He might have had like a totally different region. So, this is the type of shit, guys, when you have pure fucking idiots like him and racist like Marco Rubio, who won't call the situation in Gaza what it is, right? And keep tiptoeing around the G word, because they don't want to piss off Netanyahu and the Israeli lobby in AIPAC. And the clowns, the UAE and the fucking Arabs and the Gulf states that, are funding this shit. Anyways, man, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below, man. Like, comment, and subscribe.